it's Erica back on the Other New YouTube channel. Hello! Today I thought we're going to try something a little bit different. So we're going to be using this Bellflower Bliss layering die set. And it's super cute, and I've never actually used it before, so I thought, time to do that. And we're going to be using just some white cardstock, but I had an idea. So, I would need a couple of pieces because, I want to cut the stem and then I want to cut the flowers and stuff. But we're also going to add some fun texture with this fun press plate. So this one is the Terrazzo press plate, and it gives this amazing kind of, I want to say really rustic texture. So we're definitely going to use that. And so we're going to need some cardstock for that as well. And we're going to get die cutting, we're going to do some ink blending, and then we're going to add some fun sentiments from this You Are Everything stamp set. This is one of my favorite sentiment stamp sets from New. I absolutely love it. It has a coordinating die cut for the You Are bit as well, so you can prop them up, you can die cut them out, and it's just so cute. And this die cut actually cuts out the two words separate, so the U sticks together and the R sticks together, but it's a must-have, absolute must-have. But while I tidy up a little bit and make space for my die cutting machine, I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit of what we're going to do here. So I'm going to die cut the stem only once, and then we're going to die cut lots and lots and lots of flowers. But the idea I had was to do like a 2-for-1. So we're going to put this right kind of like in the middle of the panel, and then we're going to run this through our die cutting machine, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to use both the actual stem itself, and we are going to use that negative piece as well. So these are our two kind of basic pieces. So we are going to, do a couple of little different things with this. Yes. But on this piece here as well, you can see that there is the keyhole system. So each one of those has like a little symbol. And we're going to match up the coordinating flower, or the coordinating flower with the coordinating symbol to those ones. But first of all, we're going to cut out at least 2 lots of these flowers. And then, probably a few more bits and pieces. Because it's always better to have too many than not enough, right? So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here, and we're going to speed this up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add color to all of the flowers. We are going to add some color to a couple of backgrounds, and we're just going to create 2 very different cards. But now we're going to create some texture. So I'm going to actually use the press plate and not hot foiling or letter pressing. We are going to emboss with it. Yes, we are. So you do need to check with your die cutting machine how you can, sandwich up your sandwich, essentially. Sandwich up your sandwich. I'm hoping that makes more sense. Do your layers to run through the die cutting machine. I have got this like embossing mat. It's soft silicone. And then we're going to use the D adapter plate. And then we're going to run this through. So this worked really well with the Platinum 6 machine. Okay, but you do have to check whatever die cutting machine you have. Make sure you check the instructions for your sandwich. But look at that gorgeous texture. And it looks fabulous on both sides. So you have options. You can either do like really debossed or really embossed. So I did 2 of those actually. And now we are going to start adding some color to our little flowers. And I'm going to be using the sticky mat from the stamp wheel to hold everything in place. Now, I had a little bit of a kind of like an idea here to create these kind of like peachy flowers. So I wanted to mix a baby pink and sun-kissed together for like a sort of peachy summery vibe. And if you hear some kind of like weird droning noise in the background, I'm really sorry. My neighbor is renovating his house, and they have been drilling and drilling and drilling and using chainsaws for a week now. So unfortunately, I can't wait any longer. I need to do this voiceover so that I can get up this video in time for my blog post. But I finished the one flower, And then I thought, oh, okay, well, I've got that look now. And then I'm going to do one with just one color for each flower. Because, you know, it's June, it's Pride Month, you know, who can say no to a rainbow, right? So I really liked how these turned out. And I have gone ahead and added color to every single one of my flowers this way. So I've got enough of my peachy pink flowers for one card, and then I'm going to do 6 little flowers and buds in 6 different colors for the rainbow. Yes. So, you know, why live a life in monochrome when you can have all of the colors? But now we're going to do our layering up, and thanks to the genius of the keyhole system, it honestly could not be easier. So you just need to make sure that you line up your pieces with the correct symbol, and then you take your die cut pieces and you simply put them on top of the symbol, and that is it. And then obviously you keep layering until you've used all of the pieces for your flower. So with the front piece of the flower, it doesn't have a number on it or a symbol, but when you die cut them out, it is smart to take the time to kind of put all of the pieces together into little piles, just so that you know which ones belong to which. And that is it. That is how simple it was. And look how cute! And this one is done in pool, if you wanted to get that kind of nice minty look. But I have done all of these 6 colors here now, and I'm just going to quickly glue these together. But as you can see, super easy. Just line up the keyhole with the bottom one. Keep building until you've used all of your pieces. This goes for all of the die cuts that have the keyhole system. You literally just need to find the right symbols, and the rest will be sort of self-explanatory. But if not, you can always refer to the packaging, because the packaging will have the step-by-step instructions on which piece goes with which. So now we are almost finished, but as you can see, I mean, this part is a little bit sped up, but once you've die cut and implemented all of your pieces, the gluing part really doesn't take that long at all. And this final little one here is so adorable. And I could have maybe added a 6th kind of big flower, but I didn't want to overwhelm the card too much either. But with this negative piece, I had an idea. So I'm going to take a little bit of acetate. I'm going to glue this to the back of the card. So this is the back side. And we're going to turn this into a little shaker. I am admittedly not the best at shakers, but, you know, sometimes you need to stretch your, creativity a little bit and just step outside of that box. Now I will be using some instant dimension foam tape, of course, to add to the back of the card, so that we're going to create that shaky compartment. And this is super easy. Just make sure that all of the pieces touch so that there are no gaps, because obviously if there are gaps, your shaker bits could actually fall out. So, and then eventually it won't be a shaker. It would just be an empty card, which is okay. We don't want that. Okay, so make sure that all of your foam, your instant dimension foam, touch each other, so that you have essentially like a little box inside. Now, I had an idea of taking one of these embossed pieces, and we're going to add a little bit of green to the back of this to kind of, because we don't have the actual stem itself, but we just have the negative. But we still want it to look green like an actual stem. So I'm going to ink blend directly onto the textured background some green. Just use whichever green you want. I am quite partial to like parrot and bamboo. They are some of my favorite greens. And here I'm just checking to see like, oh, is it green enough? And not quite up at the top there. So we're going to add a little bit more color, and then we are almost done. Now, I have a little bit of a tip on how to make it less messy for when you actually add your panel to your background. So with shaker cards, as I said, they're not really my forte, but this has helped me a lot, and it's made my life a lot easier when it comes to making shaker cards, because I always tended to kind of place them front down and then try to put like the sequins in and then try to put my card base on top and hope that it was straight. But here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take off the backing tape on 3 sides. So leave the top, don't take the backing tape off on the top bit. And we're going to place this down, and this will help create like a little pocket. So you just like a little opening into our shaker pocket thing. And this has made such a difference when it comes to my shaker card making. Honestly, it went from kind of like, oh my god, to hey, that's not so bad. But now with this second background, we are going to, I have used Firefly, which is also another like wraith green. And I first ink blended with a big blending tool. And then I thought, you know what, we need a little bit more oomph to this, right? So I'm taking the ink pad and I'm just rubbing it directly onto the pattern. And because of the raised pattern, it's only those bits that are going to catch the ink. You're not going to get it everywhere unless you really smush it into the paper. But don't do that. No, don't do that. And now we have our 2 kind of backgrounds. And we're going to finish these off. So with the shaker card, that's going to be a rainbow. So I'm going to place the flowers. I mean, okay, so one of them, I have used another big flower instead of a little bud, just to kind of get those pops of colors. But generally, I try to kind of go as close to the original as possible. And now with this one, here are our peachy flowers, and we're going to be using all of these as well. I say all of this. No, we're not. We're going to use quite a few of these, and we're going to pop them onto the coordinating spot. So I've actually, on this one, I am placing the flowers where they are supposed to go, including the little buds. So I think that shows that this set is actually quite versatile. You don't have to follow the instructions all the time. If you want to do that the first time just to kind of like get your creative juices going, by all means, obviously do whatever kind of resonates with your mojo. But otherwise, as I said, just kind of mix and match and have some fun, you know. This is a really, really cute set. And it actually does cover the whole kind of card base as well. So you don't need to worry too much about like, what else do I need? But a sentiment is always a good idea, right? So I did stamp up the UR both in limestone. I think it was a limestone. It was one of those nice soft grays, and also permanent black. And I am placing them relatively similar on the card because of the placement of the flowers. There wasn't a huge amount of space to kind of like play around too much with this. And then I did also stamp up a couple of sentiments to finish off the sentiment, so it's not just you are, because it's like, well, you're what? You know, it has to make sense as well, doesn't it? You know, unless you wanted to do like really funny and write something on the inside, like, you know, if you have an insider joke with a friend or whatever. But this is the first card here, and then here is our not yet filled shaker card, but it's ready, right? So we're going to take some clear iridescent sequins, and I'm going to pop them just into like a little tray. This is a triangular tray, so that will help it make it easier to pour them into our little pocket here. And I'm being relatively generous with the shaker bit or the sequence, because the inside is actually quite big, and but the negative space itself that is actually showing the shaker bits is not huge, so I wanted lots of them. And we're just gonna gently pop the card open. We're gonna pour in all of the sequins, and then now that everything is inside, we're gonna take our tweezers. We're gonna grab that backing tape off the instant dimension foam tape, and then we're just gonna pull it out, and then we're gonna seal it shut. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And that is it. That's your shaker card done. I honestly cannot, you know, credit this trick enough when it comes to shaker card making. And I can't remember who actually showed it to me, but whoever did, thank you so much. It made my life a shaky lot better when it comes to card making. But that is it from me for today. I really, really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon again. Bye for now.
Hello there. Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Alternate YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.